is disconnect all the power. This is very important. Anytime you service a pump or any kind of pool equipment that has electricity, disconnect all power. And it's preferable if you can keep an eye on the breaker box while you're doing your work. Now on this day right, we're lucky. We have a clamp and a knob which will enable us to expose the impeller pretty easy and quick. So we just take this off. Let's not lose our parts. Give the clamp a little tap. It'll come right off. Now we're going to grab the back of the motor. Be careful, it's probably hot. And just wiggle it out. You'll get a little water. If the filter system is below level, you'll need to make sure all the valves are closed so you don't get flooded. Now, we're going to expose the impeller, and sure enough, it's full of debris. Now, we've removed the screws that hold the diffuser on, and be careful not to lose these screws because you'll need a trip to the hardware store, or you'll have to go to poolcenter.com. Now, as you can see, the impeller is full of debris. Since this is a fairly common problem, in my tool bucket, I have a piece of wire that I use for just such an occasion. We get that wire in there, and we just start pulling the debris out. If this is a common problem, check your pump basket to make sure that the pump basket isn't clogged. It also helps to have a pair of needle nose pliers. Now I'm going to take my wire and I'm going to run it through the fins. And I'm going to make sure that there's no debris left in the impeller. Yep, there's a little more. A little more, another pine needle. Pine needles are a bear. If you have a pine needle around your pool, this is going to be a common occurrence for you. Clean.
Save.
Diffuser back on. Okay, so we've cleaned our impeller and we have the diffuser back on. Now we're going to put the pump back together. Fairly simple. Stand it up right behind the pump, and what I like to do is put a dab of magic lube around the O-rings. This will not only help you get a good seal, but it extends the life of the O-ring. Not enough so it's gobbed all over the place, just a nice thin coat. We're going to put a little bit on the diffuser O-ring as well. Now, we're going to slide the pump back into the front housing. Easier said than done. You put the clamp back. And I've slid the clamp around so it's easy to access the knob. And we just crank and crank and crank. This knob needs to be as tight as you can get it. Now, another thing we're going to do as we're tightening this knob, we're going to give this clamp a little tap. That'll make the knob much easier to turn and will help secure the pump together. Now we're going to start our filter system. First thing we'll do is we're going to fill the hair and lint trap with water. This is called priming the pump. That's going to help the water get from the pool up to the pump. Next thing we're going to do Again, a little dab of lubricant on the O-ring will increase the life of the O-ring and make the pump easier to operate. You don't want too much because that'll help the debris stick to it. We just need a nice thin coat. Put the lid on. Nice and secure. Make sure our valves are in the proper position. Turn our power back on. Now let's see if we have better flow, and let's see if we have the proper filter pressure. It usually takes a couple seconds for a pump to pick up prime. Right now water is entering the basket area and getting pushed through the DE filter back to the pool. Most pumps catch prime within 30 seconds. Okay, our pressure's rising. Our water's coming into the basket. As you can see, we've gained 5 pounds of pressure. The pump is much quieter. There's no air in the hair and lint strainer, and we have a perfectly operating system.